Hello, my girl.
Hello, my
I'm
love.
so excited you're here.
Me too. It's my third time.
Third time. That's right. We did one together and then one with Joe Dispenza and now this one.
Yes. Am I the record holder of
You
three?
might be. I think you might be. I'm not surprised
Me too.
at all.
Hi.
So grateful for you.
Me too.
I'm so
Look
excited
at
for this
you,
conversation.
radiant. I know. I'm so
Thank
excited.
you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. I remember you saying right before I opened the space, you were like, I think you just need to open the space. And you didn't want to say it, but I knew what you were saying
Yeah.
intuitively.
The words I said is you need to birth
Yeah.
the space.
Yeah. I felt what you felt.
Yeah.
Although, and I kind of love that you didn't put it out there. Like, I know you're going to get pregnant right after you open the space because that puts a lot of pressure and expectations on something that's like not in our timeline. But you, along with a lot of other people, did feel that and said that. And I just remember being on the phone with you. I feel like I was here actually. Like, I remember being on this corner and listening to you and being like, I know what she's saying. I know what she's feeling.
Do you remember you were in my car and there was another place that you looked at for the space and it fell through and it wasn't the right space? And I just remember being on this journey together of.
When we were in the car, that was a different location. That's how long ago it was?
Yes. It was that first place and it fell through.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it was this and it fell through and then it came back.
Oh, but there was another place that fell through. We've been on a long journey.
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh.
At the beginning,
I know.
everybody.
We could go all the way back. It's so crazy.
We're going to go all the way back.
But I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for how you hold space for me in times that I've needed it, my family in times that they've needed it.
Yes.
And also the Evolve community and being able to share your meditations, your tapping on there. They're like your activations are just amazing. And I feel like tapping has been such a physical release for so many people. I was actually just talking to a one-on-one client yesterday and she was saying like in the days that I don't have time for a full Kriya, the tapping's been able to like give me 5 minutes where I could still get in my body without needing 30 minutes to move and just set that intention, whatever it is you're releasing, whatever it is you're bringing in through the tapping. But it's just been so helpful.
That makes me so happy. Yeah.
Yeah. And on our journey, I feel like you have a repertoire of so many different resources and tools and things that you're trained in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so helpful because sometimes you need other modalities and you need other ways of moving energy. I'm very much like my own healer and I really go within and I try all the things I could do on my own first. And then sometimes you need that outside support, that different perspective and someone to hold space for you and receive information for you as well. And you've always been that for me. So I'm so grateful.
I love you. Thank
you.
you. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing for our relationship in particular. And I'll go back to that first time a meditation in my basement in my studio. I pulled something out of your throat and you're like, did you feel that? And then the very next week is when you opened up to Kundalini yoga and started taking your yoga teacher training. And our journey of what we've interwoven through first you being my client, you being my mentor, like I always say, you got on a rocket ship, and my friend. It's been this beautiful co-creation of growth, expansion, safety, and beauty in how you and I reciprocate and in this beautiful dance of how we're going on our soul's journey. And it's true. Over the past 10 years of me doing this work, I have come into all different sorts of mind, body, spirit ways of tapping in, because if we could think our way out of whatever it is we're going through, we'd all be self-actualized people. And when we get into that heady space, the way that I work is intuitively, okay, I know what needs to happen in order for this to move. And that's like, again, like a tool belt, if you will, whether it's energy healing, whether it's somatic work, the issues are in the tissues, right? The felt sensation, the tapping provides nervous system regulation. Okay. And the coaching component the way that we process is through thoughts, images, emotions, and body sensations. And the coaching modality that I do and a mastery level with real trauma release protocols can literally move the needle in whatever someone is stuck around. And if I could say, the way that I view it is most of us go about solving something or moving, trying to make gains, if you will, whether it's through health, wealth, relationships, soul's purpose, by trimming the branches of a tree. But the way that I work is let's dig up the root of
Yeah.
the tree to literally then move to make space for what wants to be filled in, what wants to grow, whether that's a baby, whether that's a business, whether that's showing up in your family of origin and setting boundaries, whatever it is, it's from a top down and bottom up multidimensional approach so that we can get to the root of what is going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just reflecting back on like, oh my gosh, how many times I was there over the process of like when I did go through losses and like wanting to actually let go and allowing that to move from my body and how we work together in that way too. I was just talking to someone here who just started her path and like started practicing Kundalini as the space opened and now is into like all of this energy work. And she's like, once you see, you can't unsee.
Right.
Once you open this door, you can't like really go back ever. And that like through the hard times, I always come back to like the energetics, like energetically what's coming up here, energetically what needs to be healed.
Right.
And I feel like that's where you've always held space. And even with the rapid rewire,
Yes. Yes.
I found that to be so helpful because
Yes.
every time you would take me through the rapid rewire, and I believe we have one on Evolve.
Yes, we do.
It's a process that Marci takes you through. And every single time she took me through it, it came down to control.
Right.
Every time.
Right.
And I would come with different things that were coming up or feelings that were coming on the surface. It didn't all look the same.
Right.
But as we went through that process, it all came down to control.
Right.
And so much of this and what we're going to talk about with conception, obviously, like we don't have any magic pill, but there are energetic ways that we can heal to allow ourselves to open, to allow ourselves to receive when we don't have that specific answer for what might be holding us back from conceiving. But being able to be in that state of receiving, but also trust and true surrender.
Right.
Like, I think there's always stages of surrender. Like, yeah, I know how to surrender.
And if I could say, when it always came to, and control and surrender are, two polarities,
Yep.
but think back as the thread of your whole journey of how you had so much anxiety around your health.
It was all control.
Exactly.
Or false sense of control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this journey for you, these past 2 years, was the next layer of it.
Yep.
It's like, okay, you think you can surrender. Okay, you think you've got it figured out. Let's double down on it.
Exactly.
And you and I, again, you got pregnant and you spoke about this on your individual podcast. Like it was the easiest thing in the world because again, you were at that point where it's like, do I want to have kids? Don't I want to have kids? And you and I actually talked about those two roads. And I was like, oh, right when you came back and you told me again, I was one of those people who knew it was like, okay, this is for you. And then when it happens, we're not able to see it, but the line back, it's like this very much was meant for you. It was to surrender. It was to bring all of these teachings and support women. And we talked about that throughout these 2 years. I'm like, Erica, you're going to help women with this because it's something, again, that you can personally speak on.
Yeah.
And again, just such a beautiful deepening because the reason we can't surrender is because our physical body can't. We're holding the issues in the tissues. Trauma is crystallized in the cells. So you can't think, I'm safe, I can trust, I can surrender. You can't think your way out of it. So all of the ways that you and I have worked together, the way I show up and evolve, all of my clients, and especially what we've created with the sacred surrender and with my own program is these are the components that then move the needle, like you
Yeah.
said. And it's very different depending on what an individual needs.
Yeah. We were speaking about how everything is a frequency. And I feel that so many people are labeling either themselves or their journey as infertility. And in the beginning of my journey, like one
Yeah.
of my first teachers was Abraham Hicks, listening to all of those books and really understanding the law of attraction and how powerful our words are. And this is like a teaching that I feel like a lot of us know as we enter into the world of energy, but it's something I continue to embody and practice. And I'm so mindful of what I say because that's
Yes.
what I'm creating.
Yes.
And I personally I never wanted to use the word infertility. I was never told I was infertile. Obviously, we were having trouble. I had 2 miscarriages. It took me over a year to then get pregnant with this healthy pregnancy, but I was never subscribing to that. I was going to see a fertility specialist, not an infertility clinic or
Right.
specialist. It was like always amplifying what I wanted to amplify and
Right.
not what I did not want to amplify. And I feel like with what you're sharing through quantum conception, with the meditations on Evolve that you so generously are sharing through the sacred surrender, it is all about the energetics, like getting down to the base, of course, healing what might be blocked energetically in this
Yes.
department,
Yes.
but also being able to visualize and infuse this journey with the vision that we want for our future.
Yes. And the thing about that word infertility is our language is just so much about what isn't working as opposed to what is. And I will say it's a business. Like I've spoken to so many women who are like experiencing something that isn't aligning or isn't happening out of the gate, and they're like, go right for this and these expensive procedures and these expensive, invasive things, as opposed to, I just spoke to a woman, she's like, I know I don't need that. She was saying, I know I need the work that you're doing because I know there's nothing wrong, and I believe it is a mind body spirit energetic connection. So it is an incredible thing when you don't want to ever label anything that's disempowering. I say if there's unexplained reasons of why this is happening, it's not that you're infertile, it's a disconnection. And that can always be reconnected. I remember on your journey, you felt very abandoned and betrayed by your womb space, right? And all those emotions were coming up. And if you remember at that time, especially the second time where it was having trouble, releasing, we really went deep into the energy of abandonment and betrayal. And what surprised you about that?
I will never forget. I came to you and I was like, I don't want to talk. I was driving there. I'm like, I don't want to talk today. I'm such a talker. I talk through my feelings.
Right.
And I was like, I don't want to talk to her about anything. I don't want to share anything that's on my mind. And like, I got there and you literally told me exactly what was coming up for me.
Right.
Nothing required me to speak. Like you were delivered the message of what I needed.
Right.
You said it for me. So I knew you knew. And I
Right.
didn't need to speak. I just wanted to get on your bed and just like shut the fuck up and receive and
Right.
not talk. I was like
Right.
done. I was done. And it was around betrayal. And what was interesting was like, yes, I felt betrayed by my body, by my womb, by God, by the universe. Like those are all, I think, very normal feelings that come up
Yeah.
with loss and grief and all of those things. But then it also started coming up in other ways too, where I was
Right.
looking at past friendships
Right.
or current friendships. And
Right.
it was just this main theme. And
Right.
it's just so like we really don't know what is connected to the source or how much is connected.
Right.
It might just be like, I feel betrayed because I had a loss and
Right.
I feel like my body betrayed me or God betrayed me. Or there's a theme of betrayal right now and I have to go in and heal things from past relationships
Right.
so
That
that I can
root.
put yes. Also, I wanted to note just what you were sharing about our energy around the infertility word and the process and the business of it, there are so many people that it saves them. I have family members that were
Yeah.
going through IVF. I have best friends that went through it, and I'm so grateful that they have the resources. I
Yes.
think what's so important is in what you said, the most important thing is being able to have your intuition to know
Right.
which journey is meant for you and what process you're supposed to take. We're like by no
Right.
means saying any is right, wrong, better, worse at
No.
all.
Right.
And I remember being in the office one day and my doctors were not bringing up anything about IVF. They did say, if you want to try IUI, that's like the next stage.
Right.
But then we gathered more information, and then IVF came into the picture. And that was something that maybe I mean, I don't even have to say I would have done it, would have not done it, because I didn't have to really get to that choice point. But maybe I would have if that was, where my road took me. But it wasn't something I wasn't going in with the energy of like, let's get this done and let's get on the fast track and let's just
Right.
do that.
Right.
I felt deep in my soul that I was meant to just like sit, heal, and continue my process for a little bit longer. And I actually gave myself in my mind until March.
Oh, wow.
I said in March I would try IUI, and that's when I conceived.
Wow.
So I did have like one foot in this physical realm with these real interventions that
As
were
we should.
offered, and
Yes.
one foot in that spiritual energetic space. And I just feel like everything comes back, and everything I teach, everything you teach, and how you guide me and how you guide others. It's like, you actually do have the answers. Can we tune so deeply into ourselves? Like when my doctor brought up IVF, I kind of had that with me of being like, no one's brought up IVF to me. So like, I don't need to even think about that.
Right.
And then the day he actually brought it up, I remember not contracting,
Right.
not giving into fear,
Right.
and really just being like,
Okay.
there's more to explore.
Yeah.
Let's see where this is going to take us. But it's like in the past, as you know, because you've helped me through many stages, like giving away the power
Right. That's it.
and completely allowing other people's words or opinions, or even doctors, because they are so educated and they've been through it all and they have so many experiences. Like when we give our power away in any way,
Right.
it just takes a lot away from us.
Right.
And when we can stay grounded and rooted and in that space of trust, it's like, okay, they brought this up, doesn't mean this is what I have to do.
Right.
But
And I can discern what's right
yeah,
for me.
exactly.
And that is what it is. It's
Yeah.
like, because like it's going from 0 to 100 because they suggest it. It may be the perfect next step. And is it right for me? And your
Exactly.
body is always communicating.
Yeah.
And that is it. So many women are disconnected from their bodies, their sensations of what is my yes? What is my no? What am I open about? What am I not? And some people, like you said, hand over their knowing, their authority. They outsource it,
Yeah.
right? And I love that you said that, because you were like, okay, I'm open. And then here's the beautiful thing of that too. When you get to, there was the surrender moment. And we could talk about your full surrender, in which you did, and a little bit in the podcast. It was like you weren't trying to micromanage. You were done tracking. Vinny was going away, and you were like, okay, like now, and you really did let go.
Yeah.
The full embodiment of surrender. And sure enough, that's when it happened. Right.
Which I feel like is a great segue to your mom's story.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
I have chills.
I know.
Because it is so true. Like what Marci was saying, and I may have shared this on other podcasts, but there was so much control. I was looking at the Anito device,
Right.
tracking my hormones, freaking out if like I feel like there were 2 months right before I conceived where I like didn't even ovulate, and that's never happened in my life. And I was losing it. I'm like,
Right.
what the F is going on?
Right.
Skipped ovulation, went right into a period 2 weeks. And like, that's never happened to me in my life. I'm like, oh my God. And then something came over me where it was like the ultimate surrender. And you would give me this example of your mom's story.
Yes.
And just how when we can do all the earthly things that we have to do,
Right.
to take action steps. It doesn't happen by magic, but there are action steps. And there is like that half magic, like the 50-50 of like the action steps and then the releasing and letting go. And when you could actually really just let go, it creates space.
Right. So I am the embodiment of letting go, surrender, and miracle in getting pregnant. My mother was they were married at 17 and 22, like very young, and they were trying, I guess when she was, 19, for 4 years, really trying to get pregnant, getting pregnant, and it just wasn't working. And again, this is like 1969, 19, I'm 55, right? So she's like, this isn't working. Let's adopt a baby. So now they're actively adopting a baby. They find an attorney and an adoption agency. And she like let go of the idea that she was ever going to get pregnant naturally. And so the attorney calls and they said, we have a baby ready for you in Florida. Can you get on a plane tomorrow? And they're like, yes, we can get on a plane tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Like this was months ahead of schedule. And they go to get on the plane, and my father says to my mother, you're pregnant. And she's like, no, I'm not. He's like, you're pregnant. And she's like, how can you tell? He's like, your body, like I could tell. And sure enough, she was pregnant. My brother was born July of 1969, and I was born of March 1970. That's 8 months and 3 days later, because she was like, all right, I'm going to become the mother. And this is what you and I learned when we went to the Joe
Such
Dispenza
chills.
retreat. Yeah. It's like the embodiment of mother. She became the mother. She's like, okay, I'm getting a baby. I'm going to be a mother. I'm going to start preparing. I'm going to start nesting. This baby's on its way. And every single thing, her mind, her body, her spirit, the energy of becoming a mother, relaxed, aligned. And then 8 months and 3 days later, she now has really two babies. The nervous system, when you're in a hyper vigilant
Mhm.
state, it cannot do what it needs to do. It's just what I see over and over and over again. In fact, I just got a, did you see on my
Yeah.
Instagram story? Okay. So someone just messaged me from the last cohort of my program, Quantum Conception, wanted to tell you this. Now, literally, she had also two unexplained miscarriages, young 30s, know every reason of why this shouldn't be happening. She went through my program, and now she's 3 months pregnant with a little girl. Like she sent it to me, like, here's a testimonial for your program. And what it is, it's reprogramming the belief, whatever it is that we have about ourselves that we think, whether it's through the lens of fertility or in some bigger picture of life. And it starts when we're young. It's about reprogramming that subconscious. Right on the Evolve app, we have some subconscious reprogramming meditations or hypnoses that I recorded, because even though we think like, oh, I'm okay, this is going to happen, that Louise Hay, there's something in the subconscious that needs to be reprogrammed, along with the nervous system
Yeah.
believing it's safe and this is true. Because
Mhm.
very often it can't get past the brainstem, and we want to think it. That's why, like, just thinking positively, it's an important redirection, but it doesn't work because our nervous systems, it's like, I'm safe, I'm okay. But at the end of, I'm going to surrender, I'm going to surrender. And it's not a doing, right? We talk about feminine and masculine. It's a being, it's an embodiment, it's a softening, it's an allowing. You can't masculine your way into the most feminine of
Yeah.
processes. And that's unfortunately what has happened.
Yeah. It's so true because we do have so much information available, so many resources available, and we can take all the action, but there is that energetic piece that comes with it.
Right.
And there is such a deep difference between, and Joe Dispenza definitely talks about this, the thinking versus the feeling and the
Right.
embodiment of that energy.
Right.
I know the difference in my body, and this experience came to me. So Vinny and I just got a new house,
Right.
and the experience of getting this house versus my first house was completely different.
Right.
I was late 20s in my masculine, doing everything I could to make sure we were getting this house.
Right.
And I remember every day, like literally checking our bank accounts. And it was funny. One day there was like a repeating number in our bank account, like let's say it was like 62626, whatever it was. There were like 3 sets of repeating numbers, and I Googled it and it said, "You're fine financially for this next step."
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit. And then I like didn't check it again because I'm like, all right, we're getting this house. Like that's how much I was like trying to control and make sure. And like, of
Right.
course, dollars and cents, sometimes you need to make sure you have what you need.
Right.
And then
You
with
were actively
this,
manifesting that house.
actively,
Yeah, I
like with
remember
my
that.
muscles,
Right.
every morning, visualizing it, chanting a mantra for
Yeah.
manifestation, like hustling
Yeah.
the manifestation. And I feel like if I was to separate like my spiritual journey so far into 2 chapters, like the first was like the hustle,
Right.
because that's all I knew. I knew to
Right.
work hard. I knew I would teach and tutor and save my money and da 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 da, all the things. And then with this house, I remember I conceived, I sat in meditation, and I said, "There's another house for us." And then I went to my husband and I was like, "There's another house for us." And we went on a walk and I saw the house and I was
Right.
like, "You have to go look at this house."
Right.
And it was more of me being in my feminine and
Right.
trusting and flowing and having a whole different approach and letting him step into his masculine and do all of that muscle groundwork. And like, I don't know, I feel like for so long in my life, I've been so into the feminist movement. I loved working and being independent and having my own job and now having my own business. And there's so much I agree with. And now I think we have this awareness now of how women are meant to be in their feminine
Right.
and men are meant to be in their masculine. And
Right.
we will still have masculine qualities within us and
Right.
of us, but it's like finding that balance. And I think this journey to conception, there was a shift
Right.
and I noticed it in myself. So after we looked at the house, whatever, we wanted it, it was great. We ended up losing it and
Right.
someone else had the house.
You lost the that's what I was going to say. You lost that.
But
And you were
in
fine.
between, we were totally
I
fine.
know.
But in between, Vinny was like, if this falls through, I need to be like, he was still preparing as if it could possibly be ours. And I think
Yes.
there's energy there
Yes.
with that. I went for a walk. And I will never forget this feeling. And this is what I'm just trying to give an example of like the thinking versus the feeling. And you could apply this to anything you're trying to manifest, whether it's a family, a home, a job, or whatever it is. I felt I was on this walk and all of a sudden I said, and I felt it like it came in and I was like, that's our house, whether it's today,
Right.
whether those people move in and sell it a year from now or
Mm.
5 years from now,
Wow.
I know that's our house.
Right.
And it was like all of a sudden, it was out of the thinking, it was out of the trying to manifest it, writing the things down and
Yeah.
dream. It's a knowing, it's a feeling.
Right.
And I went home, Vinny called me and said, "We got it." And I was like, no
Yeah.
freaking way, because I just felt it.
Right. You
So
knew.
like, did I intuitively feel it land or did the shift actually, you know, like
Yeah.
you don't know, but it's what you're saying, like with the thinking, that's the first step. Thinking positively is the first step because you can't feel something if you're not even thinking positively.
Right.
So it's essential to
Right.
bring in positive thoughts. But where the quantum happens, where that quantum leap happens is when you can really feel it.
Right.
And I think what's so powerful about your offerings and your techniques is helping bridge the gap because it's not always easy. Like
Right.
I want the listeners to think about like, you know what it's like to think positively, but have you felt that in the cells of your body? Have you felt that expand your field and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel full. I feel as if it's mine, even though it's not even mine, but it
Right.
is mine because I feel as if it's mine. Like that's where you need to get to.
Right.
And that's a lot of your techniques, I think, help people get from point A to point B to that point of expansion.
Right.
And sometimes we need the different tools to help get us there in between.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. I received that.
He's kicking for that one. He was
Oh,
like, yeah,
he's
damn
like,
right.
yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that because I say if we could all think our way into whatever it is we'd want, it would all be here. It's knowledge, integration, and embodiment. And the moment that you lived in that embodiment of knowing in the felt sensation, because then everything changed and reorganized in the field. And that is true of everything. It doesn't matter. Like you said, I've helped women, help release tumors in their breasts, adrenal fatigue, systemic inflammation, like all sorts of physical things of, again, it just starts as trapped energy that just needs to be moved. And when you heal it at its root through all the ways that I do, it can move and miracles happen, quantum healing, houses, money, all of it, whatever soul's purpose, right? Clarity can come through. It's just an incredible journey. And what I say too is whatever anybody is struggling with, whether it is fertility, whether it is with work, whether it is with what's you want, and you're meant to, especially be a mother. It is something that is an old pattern, as we identified with you, that is needing to be addressed. And this is the lens in which you get to do your work. And when I say get to, it is a privilege. This is why we are in these physical bodies. We're here to live both human and fully divine, to be the bridge between heaven and earth. And this is the call for you to say, okay, let me clear it from its roots so that I can be this person who's self actualized in all of the ways that I'm showing up. And look at how, at that same moment, when you became really embodied in your feminine, your next levels opened up.
Yeah. I feel like I hear a question that someone might be thinking, and it's like Marcy and I are talking about that deep inner knowing and that intuition. In between having that deep inner knowing, doubts can still come in.
Yes.
Fear can still come in.
Oh, yeah.
So, as much as I felt in my soul on some level that this was going to happen for me, that one day I would be a mom, there were many moments where I was like, will this ever happen for me? What if? And then as soon as we go to what ifs, like everything's over. Like that's it. There goes our aura completely depletes and our magnetic field is like shrunken as soon as we go to those what ifs.
Right.
But in between, you can intuitively know this will happen for you. And then you could have days where you wake up and you're like, what the F is going on? Will this ever happen for me? And I feel like one of the reasons why I love Marcy being on Evolve and offering things here is because I believe so deeply in our daily practice and everything I share. And then I also have seen firsthand how powerful her techniques are,
Oh,
especially in the moments where like you need to just shift the frequency or release something.
yeah.
And in those moments of fear, I don't know if someone's going to be listening to this and has a specific question, but I feel like I
You
need to
know.
tell someone like you have to go to one of her tapping videos to rise above the fear and release the fear and come into that state of abundance. And that it just creates shifts. So it's like having your own practice because so much of the work that we do, and I feel like I've been able to grow and expand because of the honesty I have with myself.
Yeah.
Like
And
being
that's it.
so honest and be like, you are literally thinking this way right now. And that's going to prevent you from feeling this, or
Right.
that's going to prevent this from coming in. Like, look at yourself. Look at what you're thinking right now. Look at what you're amplifying. And I think our daily practice and all of this energetic work demands that true honesty where we have to call ourselves out
Yeah.
of our own bullshit.
And make a choice in that moment.
Yes.
So you become
Yes.
aware of what you're doing and then, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to keep going down into, the down spiral, or am I going to make a choice, do a kriya, do a tapping, do a meditation, take a walk, get out in nature, turn off the phone, whatever it is to change and shift, regulate the nervous system. How do I, am I making a choice that's disempowering, or am I making a choice that's empowering? And that's the beautiful thing, because here's the thing, it's never going to change. That baby's going to come out and it's going to have his own unique personality and needs, and you're going to be tired, and it's going to change the dynamic between you and Vinny, like bam bam, like everything, right, is going to shift. And then it's going to be, okay, now he's here, now I'm going to have to make another choice.
Exactly.
Right? Like all right, he was up in the middle of the night and I fell back asleep maybe for an hour. Am I going to get up and get on my yoga, on
Exactly.
my cushion?
Yeah.
Right? So it's and it never ends. That's the thing I want everybody to know. It's
Literally.
never
Yeah.
end, but you never run out of time either. It's always here for our greatest expansion of more light that we can hold. And
Yeah.
just have curiosity and compassion for yourself, that again, right? It's like, I'm very aware. This is, I call it, I'm going to scary town. Going to scary town, or am I doing something that is going to make a shift that I can rise out of that perspective? Because nothing is other than how you perceive it to
Yeah.
be.
It's so true. And a lot of what helped me on my journey, because like I think I could have easily been the person who just like showed up with a baby one day and like didn't share about my pregnancy at all.
Right.
Like I did not even want to announce it. Vinny was like, "This is getting weird. People know you're pregnant. Like you got
Right.
to say, you can't just show up on Instagram and like not talk about what's happening. Like you look different." But what helped me is exactly what you said. Like it doesn't end. There's always going to be something. Like I was like, wait till I get to 12 weeks, wait till I get to 20 weeks, wait till I get to whatever it is. And then I realized something shifted within me where I was like, and it was also along the time where the soul came into the body around 4 months at 120 days, just feeling like I have to enjoy what's right here and right now and release everything else, every other thought, and just
Right.
be present with it, because what else do I have? And I will always find a reason to worry like that. Oh my gosh.
Right.
My family, my lineage, we never run dry of worries
Right. And
if we choose to,
right, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's like
Yeah.
you've like noticed this is how it is.
Yeah.
And I am the person in my family that is the linchpin
Yeah.
that is changing. And this whole dynamic. One thing that I want to just say that's popping into my mind is, when working with women around their fertility, I never realized how much the ancestral cellular DNA, especially around the maternal line, being mothers, and the relationships within the mother line, as well as, even from parts of the world, right? And our own birth story had to do with getting pregnant. This was so
Yeah.
fascinating. I met a woman who, again, was at a very interesting choice point, and in being a mother became such a big sacrifice. Her mother, her grandmother, her great grandmother, her aunts, all sacrificed and lost themselves in becoming mothers. So, what was the block that we needed to move? It's not a sacrifice.
I couldn't resonate with that more because, as we all know, like it took me a really long time to be like, I'm going to become a mom for
Yeah.
all those reasons. And I, it's so weird because for so long I had this negative idea of like what happens when you become a mother.
Right.
The weirdest part is my mom gave us it all, like gave her all, but she never complained.
Right.
Like that was never her story.
Right.
Like I sacrificed, like she was never doing that, but it may be what I felt or saw.
Exactly. Oh, wow, I can't
You
believe we're bringing
know,
this up.
yeah, like
Yeah.
she would never complain because that's what she wanted to do. And she loved every second of it and did it with so much joy and
Right.
intention. And it was like, I'm always like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I could be half the mom that she was to me.
Yes, you will.
Thank you. But in a different way, in
Right,
my
in a
own
different
way.
way.
But it's true, like what you hold on to, whether it's what you see from them
Right.
or what you hear, I think, from other mothers.
That's
Like,
it.
oh, wait until
Yep.
how many people told me, like, oh, it's so nice you have like that morning meditation practice. Like, just wait. And I'm like, my baby's
Oh.
literally gonna live at the space and chance with me every day.
Right, like,
like it's
yeah,
part of
everyone's putting
me.
their own projections
Yes.
onto it, whether it's what we experienced growing up, what we witnessed unconsciously, other
Yes.
people who think they're, like helping you, or they're
Yeah.
just trying to like put some, like,
Or
again,
make themselves feel better for not having their own practice.
exactly,
But
exactly.
meanwhile, I think these babies are so like they have a remembering.
Yeah.
And I think, call me naive, I might be very naive, but I think by chanting and having mantra playing and all of that, it will just help.
It will,
It will.
because well,
He has
well,
no choice.
well, but here's
you
there's the
know?
control. But here's the thing. The attunement that you will have with your son is an attachment, right? So that
Yeah.
is, a secure attachment. Mom is in tune. Mom is meeting my needs in a way that's loving, and there's not going to be like that anxiousness, like, because you're going to
Because
be.
I'm going to be calmer from
Exactly.
that.
And that's it.
It all
That's
makes
the
sense in my
right.
mind.
That's it. The mantra, the beauty, the
Yeah.
infusing of frequency in which you're going. I mean, I wasn't conscious when I have a 22 and a 19-year-old. I wasn't in this place where I am now. And, the beautiful thing is being a conscious parent and parenting them in the way that I am now. I have made gains for what I really didn't know back then. And also in my story, which I will say again, part of my story in this is I gave birth at 25 weeks. I had a loss, and that anxiety, that stress, that grief that I wasn't able to fully deal with in raising my children, I had to heal. Yeah. And it was like, okay, this is part of my journey, and again, why I so deeply understand, no matter what's happening, whether it's, you know um early on, later on, whatever it is, our desire to be a mother is meant for us.
Yeah.
And I had to heal all of those aspects. It was a call for me to heal really old experiences. And you wouldn't think that when you have something going on. But again, like you so beautifully articulated, that abandonment, betrayal, control, and surrender, those themes that a lot of women go through, like you did, it's a call to just scoop it out at the roots.
It's also so interesting, like as we say, the abandonment and betrayal, now being on the other side, I'm like, oh my gosh, what was it that was coming up in that moment? Because it felt so real, those themes. And it's every challenge that we have truly is an alchemist and a catalyst for helping us get to our next level. And
Yeah.
like I was walking around carrying this abandonment feeling or betrayal feeling on maybe like, I don't know, 10%. And then
Yeah.
after experiencing miscarriages, maybe it went up to 80 where the burden just got too big.
Right.
And I was able to go all the way down through the 80 and then even down into the root, like you said, into that little 10% that I was just carrying with me. And now it's like, whew,
Yeah.
clear,
Yeah. It was
you
unbelievable what
know?
moved in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, every experience of what we're feeling in our daily life is a call to say, when is the first time I remember feeling this
Yeah.
way? What does this remind me of? And how can I be curious and compassionate about what it's here, why it's here for me, and then releasing the physical, felt somatic sensation in the body. You can't think your way out of it. It's not like, oh, okay, this is where I felt this abandonment and betrayal. It's like, no, this is where I need to literally move the issues from the tissues. And when you do, and you reconnect and you can forgive and surrender and trust and reconnect even to that womb space, your creation center, then it becomes another level of being able to create, whatever it is you're here to create in the world.
I was just taken back to when I came into the past life regression with you.
Oh, yeah.
This was really crazy, guys. I just feel called to this like a bird walk, but it just came into my mind and
I
it came
forgot.
up actually the other day. My mom's like, I wonder if babies can remember like being in the womb and
Yeah.
whatever else. And I totally forgot to tell her about this. I have to tell. I told her about it once, but I have to tell her again. Um, I did a past life regression with Marci, and we have one on Evolve, but this was a private one where I was on her table and she was like counting me down to go into this space. And at first, I was very much in my head, like, where am I going to go? Is this going to work for me? How, it took me a little while. So I'm saying if anyone ever gets
Yep.
one with her or tries the one on Evolve, like those feelings are all
Normal.
normal and those thoughts are
Yes.
normal where you're like, this is not going to work. How am I even going to go into this? And like you start thinking, and then being there with you, of course, supported my nervous system because like energetically, you're so powerful. I can't exactly tell you if I remembered if I was my mom or if I actually remember being in the womb, but it was my mother.
Yes.
It was me in the womb. And I felt, I guess it was me in the womb.
Yeah.
And I felt what it felt like to be held by her
Right.
inside.
Yes.
And I started crying. Like
Yeah.
I had this tear that just like dripped down my face because it was so real. And it was wild. Like I was in there, it was dark, it was cozy, but I felt all of her energy and it was just so insane. Sorry, that was so random,
Ah.
but it was such a cool experience. And
Yeah.
that's something I never thought would work for me.
Right.
Like it's
Of
not like I'm
course.
not going to get
Right.
out of my head enough to like go through. And there were two experiences. Then you took me through another life and I was like this really big like not big, but like I had like these really big curves, like huge hips, long hair. And I was like in a desert by myself watching the moon. I'm
Yeah.
like, that is me.
Right. I
Like just
know.
like off on my own.
I
But
love
there was one
that.
more I can't remember, but it was such a cool experience. And it is so interesting, like energetically, all of these little things that like help us to heal on the journey.
Yeah.
So,
I forgot that you
yeah.
had that
And that was
experience.
before I
I
don't even
know.
think trying
No.
to conceive was on
No.
like the
That was
checklist at
years
that point.
ago.
Yeah.
That was
That was
years ago.
years ago, but it was
Yeah.
so cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want everyone to know that there's a book, The Body Keeps the Score, right? And our brains are like hard drives. Being in utero, you have no language to describe it, but it is imprinted in the nervous system through the felt sensation, right? So it's a really cool, I guess, consciousness sensation experience that you were able to remember, on in a felt sensation. It wasn't anything that was logical. It
Yeah.
was like, oh wow, this is really cool. Right.
Yeah.
And again, our and everyone else's first way in is through the mind. And literally it's just
Yeah.
its whole purpose is to keep us stuck, safe, and repeating patterns. And once we get out of the mind and into the body, and the breath is, of course, just such a rocket ship to do that, everything can move.
Yeah. So true. I wanted to ask you what you would have to say on the energy of receiving.
My favorite topic, the energy of receiving. So, masculine energy is giving and feminine energy is receiving. And again, like you said, we each have masculine and feminine energy. And in women, if it is your natural state to like lead with your feminine, receiving is a place where you saw me say, like, I received that, right? And receiving has become harder for women because for many reasons. One, we've been taught that our masculine are doing, giving, bringing, moving the ball down the field is more valued in this society. And like you said, speaking about feminists, right? Like we are equal to men, but the difference is it's not even about
Yeah.
equality. It's just there are different
Yeah.
nuances. Men have testosterone, like they're constantly in their biology able to go go go. We're cyclical,
Yep.
like if you're bleeding, you're not able to go,
Yep.
you have to relax. So receiving, because we're so programmed to go go go, give, do, receiving, it's like even the masculine of like logic as opposed to the feminine, which is intuition, that receiving, that being, our being essence instead of doing, has been put up on a pedestal. In addition, receiving, some of us had to pay a price to receive. So it's like when you have people like, oh, well, I've done this for you, or
Mhm.
I'm going to do this for you, you better, right? It's like, oh, it's a self protection mechanism of like, I don't want to receive anything because I'm going to have to pay for it later. So all of this, again,
Mm.
societal, right? Like, I did this for you, what are you going to do for me? As opposed to like, I get to just receive that. And again, there's something that when you're not
I'm
transactional,
taking that and bringing it to a loved one.
yeah, bring it to
Like,
a loved one.
I'm
Bring
gonna
it
bring
to
it
a
to them
loved one. Yeah,
after this
because
conversation.
so many people are
Yeah.
transactional. You do this for me, I'm going to do this for you. There's that energy.
And like maybe now it's hard for someone that I know to receive because that was a big theme in their relationship
That's it,
with someone,
right?
you
So
know?
it's become a self-protection
Yeah.
mechanism. I'm not going to receive because I have to pay a price to
Yeah.
receive, or it's not safe to receive, or no one ever let me receive without having to perform or do or give. Like, do you ever, it's like what's popping into my mind. It's like if you said to me, Erica, like, my feet hurt, I'd be like, come here, put your feet on me. I'm going to give you a massage. Like in my wildest dreams, I would never be like, okay, here's my feet. Now you have to give to me, right? Like there's a softening in receiving, there's an allowing. And what I want to say about receiving too is how you receive one thing is how you receive everything. So imagine if I gave you a compliment and you're like, oh no, I was like, you look so beautiful. And you were like, oh no, like I look blah 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 blah, like you deflect that. A lot of people cannot receive a compliment. What if, I came with a beautiful gift and I was like, oh, this is for her, I know she'd love this, and this beautiful paper, and I wrap it in this beautiful paper, and I'm like, oh, here, Erica, here's a gift, and you're like, oh, you shouldn't have, you know what I mean? As opposed to like, wow, thank you. Because again, it is given with grace and love and, you know, adoration and consideration and what you would like or love. And when you receive that, it completes the cycle of giving and receiving. And in receiving, the graciousness of receiving then allows you to receive
Mhm.
more, right? Because the universe cannot give to you something like, if you're not open to receiving, it's not going to give you more to receive.
Right.
And again, it's a nervous system thing. Conception, pregnancy is all about receiving.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. I want to take them behind the scenes of what it's like to receive a download because when you shared the quantum conception with me, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And I know that feeling
Yeah.
of when something comes in through the crown and it
Yeah.
just, you give birth to it. It's like the best feeling in the world. It's like, I
Yeah.
love nothing more than like receiving downloads and
Alignment.
bringing them earthside.
Yeah.
And when I looked at the quantum conception, I just felt like there's so many resources there. Like I actually feel it in my crown and in my third eye when I look at it or talk about it because I felt that it all came through for you, like
Yeah.
through divine, through your work, through what you do. So like take us behind the scenes of that download coming through and how it played out.
Yeah. So, in the work of working with women in their fertility, and particularly with you, like as you really this spring gave birth to the space. My first event here was a womb healing, which we have to talk about what happened here with you.
Basically conceived right then and there.
Yeah, exactly.
The sperm was swimming around. It was
Yeah,
like, oh, she's resting. She's at a womb healing. Perfect time to
it
land.
really was that weekend.
Right?
You really did. I
Yeah.
mean, you came in,
Yep.
yeah.
And then Tori came the next day, Victoria, who we love so much. She was like, just so you know, a few people got pregnant here yesterday from Marcy.
And that and we
And it was
actually
true.
and it was
And it
true.
was
A
true. And
bunch
we
of
keep getting messages.
people keep did. But again, like that was exactly what
Yeah.
happened. And just I'll tell you about the downloads, but that day in this space, I didn't put my hands on your womb. I put my hands on your head and your heart, and you go, I knew, or I didn't want you to put on
I
my womb.
didn't.
Yep. And I go, I felt
I didn't want any like clearing
right.
because
It wasn't
we
a
weren't trying.
clearing.
Yep.
It was just like it was
Yep.
an integration.
Yep.
So that happened here. And again, a beautiful full circle moment. But as you were going through it, every single night in my dreams, and this is what was bananas, the energy was working through me, teaching me the components of this program. This is what you need to do. This is what needs to be a part of it. This is how it all connects. And I would wake up and I'd be like, oh my God. And I'd write and I'd record and I'd be in my space downloading these meditations, writing, like writing everything, like we're both teachers, we're both classically trained teachers, scope and sequence, like this is the arc in which you
Yeah.
have to take people through. And then specifically energy that coming from the divine, coming from fertility consciousness, goddesses, essence, spirit, God, universe, whatever it is, was communicating to me, this is what you need to do and this is how you do it. And I was like, okay. And
It's the
what
best.
and what I downloaded was a 6-month program, and then I condensed it into a 6-week because it was like, okay, you wrote War and Peace, but we need the cliff notes because again, any woman that comes through, it's like, okay, we need this, we need this. It's like, okay, it's
Yeah.
already done and I can, give that to you. And that's how it was done. It was channeled, it was downloaded, and specifically because of the interweaving of me very specifically working with all women, but specifically with you, because Erica and I, we
Go
communicate,
deep.
we go deep. We communicate like
Unspoken.
unspoken, right?
That day I showed up at your house at the womb healing, like
The day
a
that
lot of
there were
evidence.
2 years in a row, I messaged her. I'm like, did you resign from teaching yet? She's like, okay. I just put in that I'm going to work another year because of the insurance. How did you
Yeah,
know? I'm like, I felt you. And then the next year, I'm like, did you just resign? And you're like, yep, I
yeah,
did. Like we have telepathic communication,
definitely.
right? And it's always, just evolving. Hello. It's always just, that's who we are. And so this is the other thing. I created this whole thing. It literally just
Yeah.
birthed through alignment. I said, Erica, I'm going to just like give that, like, here's access. Like, I'm going to just put you in it, the dashboard part of it, not even the live component. I'm like, here it is. I'm just putting you in the energy of it. You didn't even look at it once until now it's part of it's, some of it's in Evolve. But it was like, you're in the energy of it. This was created as a result of our interplay. And again, what happened? Boom. You fully embodied that. You didn't even need to do it. You just, in whatever that last piece, giving birth to the space, finally surrendering. You weren't
Yeah.
micromanaging. Vinny was able to go away. We came to the womb healing, and you came. You're like, I think it happened last night. And I was like, I'm like, I believe it. And I'm like, okay, let's just,
Did I feel that way
yeah,
already? I
that's what
didn't. Okay, I don't
happened. It
remember.
was that
Yeah,
weekend.
I know it was. I don't know if I remember. I don't know if I felt like it happened or if I was still like, if it happens, it happens. I don't remember if I felt like I think it happened. I
All
don't
I
know.
know is, maybe you didn't say it, but all I know is I felt
We're
it.
all feeling
We
it.
were all feeling it. It was like boom. And then someone else messaged
Yeah.
me, maybe one or two other
Yep.
women here. And
Yep.
again, I want everyone to know that you don't have to, Eric and I, we live close. We're, again, on this beautiful ride together in close proximity. The space. This is accessible to every woman, no matter where you live. I
Yeah.
work with women all over the world. It doesn't matter. The energy, the transmissions, the felt, the nervous system regulation, the tools, all of it. I work with women all over the world. I mean, we
Yeah.
just are so blessed we're here
Yeah.
on Long Island to be in person.
Yeah. It's so true. And I'm so excited because I chose Marcy so generously offered some of the quantum conception into the Evolve program. And she was like, let's put them all in at one point. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to take a few of these that really resonate with me in my journey, and we're going to put them in like the trying to conceive category. And I feel like it is such a deep and complete program that the people that want to go deep, they're coming to you, they're
Right.
going through it, they're receiving the program as you designed it, because I can't say enough about it. Like
Oh,
it is complete,
thank
like
you.
fully complete. So if you have been called for, more energetic healing on your journey, I would definitely look into it. You could even try them out on Evolve. And then if
Right.
you want to go really deep, it is like a full 6-month course. But
No,
what
it's six.
Marcy's
Yeah,
saying is
yeah.
like now it's 6 weeks, you could choose what really you're guided to.
Right.
But the content wise, I could see why you
Right.
had it at 6 months at
R-
first, because there's so much in there.
right. And
So much.
thank you. Yeah. The
An
6 weeks.
abundance of
Yeah.
resources,
And it's
truly.
not just the online piece, it's 6 weeks of group work together
Yeah.
with the cohort, hourly calls. And then you also get one on one time with
And
me.
how nice to just be supported with a group of
All
people
right. The
who are going through
community.
it, because it is one
Yeah.
of the loneliest times.
Yeah.
And you can feel so isolated, so alone. And you could look outside yourself and be like, everyone gets pregnant and everybody, da, 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 and all of
Yeah.
that. And when you can be around other people going through it, that's helped me so much too. Just having
Yeah.
other people along the journey with me.
Yeah, because it really feels, when it's not happening, it's so upsetting. It's so isolating. And again, it's not something that is, talked about. And there are, I'm sure, groups, but this is women who, and again, we can have the conversation in the Evolve app and within,
Yeah.
and I love how you named it Sacred Surrender, because that's exactly what Erica and every other woman has to embody, as well as in my, very in-depth program. It's important to have these conversations.
Yeah.
Like, it's both and, right? Like, of course you're going to feel sad, sorrow, grief, overwhelm, fear, hopelessness that comes up. And then, okay, how am I going to move this? Like,
Yeah.
how long am I going to stay in this state? And the real feelings, you can, as you know, through the rapid rewire, when you process them, you're like, oh, wait, hold on a minute. I didn't realize I could move this so quickly. I didn't realize this clarity could come through. I didn't realize this regulation could happen, right? It's just, emotions are energy in motions.
Yeah.
They are communicating to us something that needs to be felt. Feelings are meant to be felt. And
Totally.
when we do that, it gives an incredible space for a breath to come in,
Mhm.
hope to come in, clarity to come in.
Yeah. Thank you so
Oh my
much.
god, so
I feel
good.
like everyone knows and loves you, but can
Uh,
you share where they can find you if they're just meeting you here today?
yes. At Marci Baron on Instagram is the best place to find me, follow me, message me. I love that about us. We're so accessible too. We love all of the people in our community. And marcibaronclears.com. Again, you could find it on Instagram is the easiest place to get there. And I'm opening a cohort for women coming in this next month. And maybe if this is for you to go deeper or even in one-on-ones, however it works, I know that the people we're meant to work with is a soul contract. The
Yeah.
what we offer is unique for people on their journey, and if any of what I've said resonates with you in any way, again, health, wealth, relationships, but specifically this cool journey of fertility, I would love to support you. What I will say is being a mother is the greatest, most elated and hardest journey, and I wouldn't give it up for the world because it really has made my life so rich in being a mother. And again, I know that if this is what speaks to your soul, that I would love to support women in doing that.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You're the
you. I
best.
love you.
Thank you. I love you too. We can link your information too in the show notes so everyone can find it there as well.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining. May the
Mwah.
long
Love
time
you.
sun shine upon you. Sat Nam.